Hillary Clinton won big over Barack Obama in the West Virginia primary. Clinton won 67% of the vote to 26% for Obama, but most political analysts say even a win that big isn't enough to save her campaign. Obama still leads in the delegate count, and just today, 2 more superdelegates announced their support for Obama. But in her victory speech, Clinton told her supporters she's more determined than ever to carry on the campaign. Joining us now from Charleston, West Virginia, our political analyst, Mark Curtis. Good morning, Mark.
Ross, good morning.
I guess we're not surprised by that big win.
Well, 41 points, I think, is the biggest margin in this entire primary campaign. So the polls beforehand predicted it, and it came to be. So it's a big victory for Hillary Clinton. How much momentum she can take out of it, of course, is the big question, because next week she goes to Kentucky and Oregon. She's widely favored to win Kentucky by perhaps a similar margin, but Barack Obama is, predicted to be the victor, at least for now, in Oregon. So they may have a split decision next week, and that may kill some of her momentum out of this.
West Virginia voters said in exit polls there were 2 issues important to them. First of all, Reverend Wright's name came up again, and the other one was a gas tax holiday, and they were concerned about the Reverend. They liked the gas tax idea.
They do like the gas tax idea, and of course you have to put the gas tax perhaps in the overall umbrella of the economy. 64% of people in the exit polls said the economy was the #1 issue. And of course, Tori just mentioned that story about food prices going up to an 18-year high. Wow. These are going to be the big issues that drive this into November. Reverend Wright, that might be an issue that played big here, but it is perhaps fading. I don't know how much legs that issue has going into the November election. We've heard all the sermons and everything. I don't know how much more is going to come out on that.
Yesterday you mentioned that no Democrat since 1916 had won the White House without West Virginia. So it's an important swing state to the Democrats.
Well, it really is, and Hillary Clinton mentioned that fact again in her victory speech last night. Look, they're not just talking about West Virginia. The exit polls, again, if I can, mention that 72% of white voters who did not go to college went for Hillary Clinton. They're talking about blue-collar, union, working-class voters. And, of course, this doesn't just pertain to West Virginia. You're talking about Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, very similar states. And the question is, Hillary Clinton just swamps that voter demographic. Can Barack Obama pick up those votes if he's the nominee in November? And a lot of people don't think he can, and one of them is Hillary Clinton.
We have about 45 seconds left here, Mark. Hillary Clinton says the Rules Committee will meet at the end of May. She's determined to get Michigan and Florida, that popular vote, back into the mix. How successful do you think she's going to be?
Well, there is talk right now of seating both delegations, but only counting the delegates or cutting them in half. So if Michigan had 100 delegates, they would only count as 50. If Florida had 200, they would only count as 100. It really remains to be seen. We do know this. Hillary Clinton cannot win without a significant number of delegates from Florida or Michigan. So her strategy is completely riding on that. She has to have those votes, or she simply is not going to be the nominee of her party, Ross.
All right. Before I say goodbye to you, what river is that behind you? It's a nice shot.
Yeah, that's the Canwad River here in Charleston, West Virginia. It's absolutely beautiful this morning.
All right. Thank you, Mark. And you can read Mark Curtis's blog on markcurtismedia.com. We'll talk to you next week. You'll be up in Portland.
I'll be in Oregon for the primary there next week. We'll see you then, Ross.
Thank you, Mark. Time now is 7:49. Let's go back to the desk.